స్టార్ట్ చేయాలా వెయిట్ చేద్దామా సార్? The 16 participants has been come. Shall we start, beta? Shall we start, beta, or shall we wait it? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Start.
Yes, sir.
Shall we start, beta?
Yes, sir.
So I hope yesterday's sessions you might have been revised it. We have been trying to do your PT graphs and as well as of your VT graphs and also the loss. So gas loss has started. I have been done with your Charles law and as well as of your Boyle's law part affiliation, isn't it? So what is a Boyle's law is that pressure is inversely proportional to your volume. Pressure is inversely proportional to the volume, keeping the temperature and mass to be constant. Whereas the Charles law says that for a given pressure, the volume of a given mass of a gas is proportional to its absolute temperature. Our pressure is directly proportional to temperature, keeping the volume and mass to be the constant part of relation. And very important note I made you to write, all the real gases behaves like an ideal gas at high temperature, low pressure, and hence at high temperature and low pressure, All gases obeys your all gas laws. So let us try to come to the next heading, that is STP conditions. What do you mean by an STP conditions, beta? STP conditions are nothing but the conditions in which, okay, I'll change the pen. Yeah. So STP conditions, see right now, first one, temperature. Temperature. That means if I'm taking this one as 0 degrees centigrade, 0 degrees centigrade implies for me 273.15 degrees centigrade or 273 Kelvin. 273 Kelvin. 15 you can take it out, but if you need exact answer, or else I can make an approximation of your 273 Kelvin part of relation. Clear? That is the first STP condition you need to remember. STP condition and normal temperature and pressure. NTP conditions are one and the same beta. If I'm talking about the pressure now. Okay, now see, if I'm talking about your pressure, pressure P is equals to your 1 atmosphere. 1 atmosphere is equals to H rho into G. H is your height of mercury column, rho is your density, and as G is your acceleration due to gravity. G is your acceleration due to gravity. So values of that one, if I'm simplifying in this one, H value is equals to your right now height of the mercury column. What we are taking is nothing but of your 76 centimeter of mercury column into density is equals to for me 13.6 into acceleration due to gravity is your 980 into the unit for this one is nothing but of your dyne per centimeter. Dyne per your centimeter square. So if I simplify this one, this comes for me approximately density of the water, whatever I'm taking right now. If I'm taking in terms of your SI system, this height will be equal to your 10 into density will be equal to 10 to the power of 3 into acceleration due to gravity will be equal to 9.8. And the unit for this one is Newton per meter square. The first one I have written in the CGS system, the down one I have taken in the CSI system. In SI system, height is taken as 10 meters and density is taken as 10 to the power of 3, G value is taken as 9.8. Whereas in CGS system, height of the mercury column is 76 centimeter of mercury column, 13.6 centimeters of your density, centimeters per meter cube, and this one centimeter cube, sorry, and G value is 980 centimeter meter per second square. This will become for me centimeter per second part. So if simplifying that one, we'll be getting dyne per your centimeter square. If I simplify this total value, this comes out to be approximately in the Pascal I'm writing 1.012 into 10 to the power of 5 pascals. That means for the calculation purposes, generally we directly take this value as of your this value approximately we take it as 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square or Pascal. Anything is fine for us. Okay, so these are the STP conditions which you need to remember. First STP condition is at 0 degrees centigrade means 273 Kelvin. Pressure means pressure, atmospheric pressure is nothing but equal to 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square or Pascal. If I need to write still exact value, that value is 1.01 in 12 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascals part of relation. The next one is point number 3, volume. So if I'm talking about the volume, in the STP condition, volume is taken as of your 22.4 liters beta. This is standard value for 1 mole. For 1 mole, 1 mole is represented by small n. Small n is equals to your mass by your molecular mass beta. N is equals to small m by your capital M is nothing but mass of the gas divided by molecular mass. So volume STP conditions are taken as 22.4 liters, or this volume is also equal to your 22,400 centimeter cube if I'm taking in the CGS system. So ultimately I can write here volume V is also equal to 22.4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube. So whether you are writing in terms of your density part of relation, so this will be the relation what we need to remember for the given conditions. So these are the STP conditions beta. Very, very important while doing the problems of your kinetic theory of gases. Whenever we use a term called as of your STP condition, temperature should be taken as of your 0 degree centigrade, or it is nothing but 273 Kelvin, and 1 atmospheric pressure is equals to 1 atmospheric pressure is always equals to your 10 to the power of 5 Pascal, 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. This is always equals to 10 to the power of 5 Pascal part of relation. And volume is equals to 22.4 liters for 1 mole, or V is equals to 22,400 centimeter cube, or else we will be writing that one as of your 22.4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube. So the units you need to remember very carefully. And when we are talking about the number of moles is always equals to N is equals to small m by your capital M part of relation. Clear for everyone? Is the STP?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any doubt in
Yes,
this?
sir.
So what are the STP conditions means? Temperature should be taken in terms of Kelvin, 273 Kelvin. Pressure is 10 to the power of 5 Pascal, and volume is 22.4 into 10 to the power of your minus 3 meter cube, or 22.4 liters. That means 1 liter can be written as how much beta? 1 liter is equals to 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube. Can I write that value here if you need? So 1 liter is always equals to how much? 10 to the power of minus 3 meter cube. Clear? Okay, sure. Let us try to go for the next one. That is about your ideal gas equation. Okay, next one is about your ideal gas equation. Okay, now see, what you do is consider certain amount of your gas right now. Say for example, this is a box. Okay, and here there is your one more box, and here there is another box. Okay, now in this one I'm taking the pressure. So certain amount of gas is being pressured at a pressure, say for example P1, volume is V1, and temperature is nothing but T1. Okay, I am applying right now for this one Boyle's law. In Boyle's law, what remains same with the temperature? If it is T1, it should also be your T1. That means here T1 is remaining for me same. I'm not changing. So what will be changing there right now? P2, and volume is right now becoming, say for example, some V12, it is becoming, say for example, V. Then if I apply again right now for this one, Charles law right now. That means I'm applying all the laws whichever I know for the ideal gas. So if I'm trying to talk about for this one, in ideal gas, what is the condition beta? Volume is directly proportional to, in this one, volume is directly proportional to temperature, and in the Boyle's law, pressure is inversely proportional to your volume. Clear for everyone? So now if I'm writing the conditions for this one, so in this one, temperature is right now, volume is directly proportional to your temperature. So I can write for this one, pressure is remaining constant. So this one is nothing but P2 as it is. Volume will become from V to your, say for example, V2, and temperature will change from your T1 to, say for example, of your T2. Is that condition clear? So I have taken the gas in the first container and I'm applying the Boyle's law. So when I'm applying the Boyle's law, temperature is remaining constant. So finally I'm getting P2, and P1 is becoming P2, and V1 is becoming V, and T1 is remaining for me same T. Whereas while applying the Charles law part of relations, volume is directly proportional to temperature. So P2 remains for me same, that is nothing but P2. Volume V is changing to V2, and temperature T1 is changing to your T2 part of relation. So if I'm applying the relations right now for this one, see we can write here P1 V1 is equals to P2 into, here the volume is nothing but of your V, isn't it? So from this one I can get the volume. V is equals to your P1 V1 divided by your P2. Can I write like this? So this is my equation number 1. Okay. Now for this one, when I'm applying the equation right now here, volume is directly proportional to temperature, means V by your T1. Here the temperature is nothing but of your T1 is equals to, here the volume is changing from V2, temperature is nothing but of your T2. So from this one, I can take the volume right now. V is equals to V2 into T1 divided by your T2. So this is my equation number 2. Okay, so the equation number 1 and equation number 2 for this one, but applying the Boyle's law and Charles law, I got volume from the Boyle's law as P1 V1 by P2, and from the Charles law, V is equals to V2 T1 divided by T2, because volume is directly proportional to T, so it is V1 T1 is equals to V2 T1. Here V1 is nothing but how much when I'm applying the Charles law, V1 is nothing but V, T1 is T, then V is changing from V to V2, so it is V2 divided by your temperature, that is nothing but of your T2. Now equating 1 and 2. From 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, if we equate both the volumes right now, I can write here P1 V1 divided by your P2 is equals to V2 T1 divided by your T2. All the P1 and V1 terms you take on one side, and all the 2 terms you take on another side. So can I write this one as of your P1 V1 divided by this T1 I'm taking down, so this is your T1 is equals to P2 will go up, so this will become for me P2 V2 divided by your T2 part of relation. So this is about your equation of your ideal gas equation. So P1 V1 divided by T1 is equals to P2 V2 divided by your T2 part of relation. So that is about your relation for the ideal gas equations. Come back again for the given condition. See that one. Ideal gas equation, if I'm applying there. Have you got any doubts in this one, Sibeta? First one, in the 3 jars, I'm taking the 3 gases and applying the Boyle's law and Charles law, and I have written the equation for that one. Go through this equation. If you have any doubt, you please let me know. I'll help you out in that one. Anyone? No doubts?
No, sir.
Clear this one?
Yes, sir.
Let's see better here. From here, little bit listen concentratedly. Now see, if I'm talking about for 1 gram of your gas, for 1 gram of gas. So whenever you're talking about for 1 gram of your gas, that is nothing but of your PV by T is equals to some constant, that is nothing but of your small r. Small r is known as of your specific gas constant. Whenever we talk about the gas in terms of grams, PV by T is equals to some constant. That constant is represented by your R, not gamma. So this is actually R. Okay, this one is nothing but R. R is known as of your what? A specific gas constant. A specific gas constant when we are talking about for gram of your gas. When we are talking about for your gram of your gas. Whenever we are talking about for the gram of your gas part of relation, for 1 gram of your gas, PV is equals to for this one. PV by T is equals to some constant, that is nothing but of your specific gas constant. R is known as of what for me? Specific gas constant. Specific gas constant. Clear for everyone? The same way. For m grams, if I'm talking about, for m gram of gas, then PV by T will become for me how much? M times of your small r. Okay, now for m grams, if I'm talking about right now, so this value will become for me PV by T is equals to M into your R. M is nothing but what for me? Your grams. That means I can write from this relation right now. PV is equals to M into R into your T. So 1 gram of all gases doesn't occupy same volume at the STP condition. This equation is called as of your what? Gas equation. Okay. So this one is your gas equation. So for grams, if I'm writing, what is the gas equation, beta? PV is equals to the R la kanipistundi kada. So I'll change it. So this one is PV. PV is equals to M into RT. This equation is known as of your gas equation. So for what we are talking about, for grams beta, if I'm talking about for 1 gram of your gas, PV by T is equals to constant. That small r is known as of your specific gas constant. Specific gas constant, a part of a relation. For m gram of a gas, if I'm talking, PV by T is equals to M into R. So PV is equals to MR into T, which is known as of your gas equation. Clear? Sure. Next one again important. Okay. If I'm talking about 1 mole, that means 1 mole of every gas occupies the same volume at your STP beta, whereas this one will not occupy. So here I'll write 1 point before this one, so that we'll get a clarity in this one. Make a note for this one and write. Can you say that 1 gram of all gas will occupy the same volume for the grams beta here right now? Because for 1 gram, whatever the relation I'm taking right now, so write that point in the words, you will get a clarity. So 1 gram of all gases does not occupy same volume. Can anyone tell me why? At STP. See this point very carefully. 1 gram of all gas does not occupy antonomano. It's not occupying. It is not does not occupy same volume at your STP. Can anyone get an idea for this one? No one is responding. See, 1 gram of all gases does not occupy same volume at STP antonym. Why? Because different gases have different molecular masses, isn't it? So as the molecular masses are different right now when we're talking about that one, so volume occupied by that one is also the different at the standard temperatures and the pressure part. So whenever we talk about in the grams, all gases does not occupy the same volume at your STP. Clear this point? Sure. The next one, keep a star mark and write. Now, 1 mole of every gas occupy same volume at STP, at your STP. That means for 1 mole, if I'm writing, for 1 mole, PV by T is equals to some constant known as of your capital R. Capital R is known as, anyone know this one better? Capital R is known as universal gas constant. This is experimental values, beta. So this is called as of your universal gas constant. And the unit of this one is R is defined as of your joule per mole Kelvin. I'll write this unit also in detail in the further. But right now, remember, whenever we are talking about for one mole, if I'm talking about PV by T is equals to a constant that is known as universal gas constant. For grams, when we have been writing, for m grams, when we have been writing, PV by T is equals to certain constant known as small r. That small r is known as of your specific gas constant. Is that point clear, beta? Okay. So for 1 mole, if I'm writing for n moles now, for n moles, PV by T will be equal to your n times of your R. Okay, so I can write from this one, PV is equals to n into R into your T. This is known as of your ideal gas equation. Okay, so this one is known as of what? Ideal gas equation. PV is equals to nRT is known as ideal gas equation, where n is equals to, where n is equal to your mass by molecular mass. That is, small n is equals to small m by your capital M. Clear? Isn't it? So these are the some of the points you need to remember in the ideal gas equations. When we are applying the ideal gas equation, both Boyle's law and Charles' law have been applicable for a given gas. If it is that one, then we are getting PV by T is equals to constant. So it is P1 V1 by T1 is equals to P2 V2 by T2. For 1 gram of a gas, if I'm writing PV by T is equal to small r, the small r is known as specific gas constant. For m grams of a gas, PV by T is equals to m into your R. So PV is equals to mR into T, which is known as of your gas equation, which is known as of what for me? Gas equation. This one is your gas equation. Okay. Now, 1 gram of all gas doesn't occupy the same volume at your STP conditions. So, for we are not talking for the grams, so we are talking about in terms of moles. So 1 mole of every gas occupies the same volume at your STP. That is a very important point. So for 1 mole, if I'm writing a constant, PV by T is equals to some constant that is known as capital R. Capital R is known as of your universal gas constant. A unit of the capital R is joule per mole Kelvin in SI system. In CGS system, if you are writing, joule can be written in terms of dyne and the given condition. So for n moles, if I'm writing, n moles is equals to PV by T is equals to nR. So PV is equals to nRT is known as of your ideal gas equation. So where small n represents me what beta? Mass by your molecular mass. Mass by your molecular mass part of relation. And write the different values of your R beta for which we will be calculating the values for the capital R part of relation. That means if I simplify the value of your R for the different conditions, the value of the R comes out for the different conditions. Can we derive the value of your capital R beta? అర్థమవుతుందా? అందరూ నిద్రపోతున్నారా? Am I audible, beta?
Yes, sir.
So much calm today. Boring కొడుతుందా? అమ్మా. Yesterday full rainy, drowsy. Chalo. So for 1 grams of, when we talk about for the gram of a gas, PV is equals to m into small r into T beta. Small m is nothing but mass, small r is nothing but specific gas constant, and capital T is your absolute temperature. In the same way, if I'm talking about for 1 mole of your gas, if I'm talking about for your 1 mole of your gas, 1 mole of your every gas occupies your same volume at your STP condition. So for 1 mole, if I'm writing the relation, PV by T is equals to R, and for n moles, it is PV by T is equals to n into your R part of relation. Let us try to go for the next point. Keep a note in this one here. Yeah. Number 1. PV is equals to M into small r into T. So I can write this one, PV is equals to small m by your capital M into capital R into T. Okay, from the two equations. PV is equals to M into your RT, and if PV is equals to, I'll write first nRT, then I'll get a clarity. So I'll write this one as of your first nRT. So this one is N into your capital R into T. Okay, so from this one I can write from this relation M into small r into capital T is equals to N into capital R into T. Anything is getting cancelled in this one, this T will get cancelled. So I can write here the value of your small r is equals to your N into capital R divided by your mass. Now see, small n by your capital N can be written as right now. Can anyone tell me relation right now? N by your M, isn't it? So what I can write, beta? R is equals to, this value of your R is equals to, see above I have written here, small n is equals to small m by capital M. So if I am taking n by m, that will become for me how much? 1 by m. So this can be written as of your capital R divided by capital M. Can I write like this? So this is the relation of your small r. If we need to calculate the value of your small r is equals to your right now for me capital R divided by capital M. R is universal gas constant and capital M is your molecular mass particle relation. So relation between this one is inversely proportional. So I can write here right now for the given condition R is inversely proportional to molecular mass. So I can say that R is maximum for, I'm writing every time like a gamma. Okay, smaller is maximum for which gas? Can anyone tell me? Inversely proportional to molecular mass. Molecular mass is minimum for which gas? Hydrogen, H2. So specific gas constant is maximum for which gas? H2. As the molecular mass increases, specific gas constant also decreases. So that thing you need to remember in your mind. So this is very important for your competitive examinations. Smaller is inversely proportional to capital M. So R is maximum for hydrogen. Maximum for your hydrogen. R is known as of what, beta? Specific gas constant. Specific gas constant. Okay. So this is the value of your R particle. Okay, it's not a gamma. This one is R. Okay, R is inversely proportional to your molecular weight particle ratio. So I hope you got the relation between the small r and capital R. Small r is equals to capital R divided by your molecular weight. So I have taken the relation between the mass and as well as of your moles, and I have got the relation between them as small r is equals to capital R divided by your capital M. So point number 2 now in this one. For 1 mole, PV is equal to your RT, because N value I have taken is equals to how much for me? N. N is equals to how much for me? 1. And we know that Avogadro number Na is equals to 6.023 into 10 to the power of your 23 mole inverse. I hope you remember this relation in your chemistry. So I can write that for 1 molecule, when we are talking about 1 molecule is equals to, for 1 molecule whenever you are writing, PV will be equal to your, this is nothing but capital R divided by your Avogadro number into your capital T. Okay, so capital R divided by Avogadro number is equals to certain constant. That constant is called as of your K particle relation. Very important. PV is equals to some constant capital K into your T. So this K is known as of your, can anyone tell me? PV is equals to KT, and this is for 1 molecule. So whenever we are talking about for 1 molecule, PV is equals to K into T. PV is equals to K into T, where K is known as of your Boltzmann's constant. Boltzmann's constant. Clear? So what is the value of a K? Can anyone tell me right now? K value is equals to, so from this equation I can write from this part of relation, K is equals to universal gas constant by your Avogadro number. K value is nothing but a ratio of your capital R by your Avogadro number. See, whenever we talk about the molecules, you just divide it by your Avogadro number of your moles. We'll get the answer for the molecules. Whenever you're using the molecules, you take the value of capital K. And whenever you're talking about moles, you take in terms of your capital R. So make that difference very carefully better. So capital R is the capital K is equals to R by your N into your A part of relation. Clear for everyone? Got it? Chinna andarki, certainly once again.
Yes, sir.
Clear better for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So let us try to go for the calculations of your values better. This one is next Saturday. Calculations of the values of capital R and Boltzmann's constant. So what are the constant values? Okay. We know the relation PV is equals to N into R into your T. So capital R is equals to PV by N into your T. Okay. So now at STP conditions, if I'm taking at STP conditions, the pressure is equals to 10 to the power of 5. Volume is equals to 22.4 into 10 to the power of 3 by temperature is equals to 273 Kelvin. So if I simplify this one, this value comes out for me approximately 8.314. Unit for this one is, I told you, this one is nothing but of your joule divided by your mole Kelvin. Because temperature is measured in pressure into what? That is the unit of joule. N is measured in terms of mole, so it is nothing but N. So see this equation better. So from this equation, if I'm writing the given condition, R is equals to your this one. P into V has the dimensions of work better. Work is measured in joules and N is measured in the moles and temperature is measured in the Kelvin. So it is joule per mole Kelvin is the unit and the value of that one is equals to how much for me? 8.314 joule mole Kelvin part of relation. Clear for everyone? Clear? Sure. If I
Yes,
write
sir.
in terms of your dynes, isn't it? So capital R is equals to, this will become for me 8.3 into 10 to the power of 7. Unit is erg per mole Kelvin. In which unit? In CGS unit. That means when pressure is taken in terms of dyne per centimeter square and volume. So in the CGS system, R value is equals to 8.3 into 10 to the power of 7 erg per mole part of relation. If pressure and volume are taken in terms of, if pressure and volume, if P and volume are taken in terms of your atmosphere and liter, pressure and volume are taken in atmos and liters. Capital R value is equals to 0.0821. This will become for me liter divided by mole Kelvin. So this will be the different units you need to remember for the given condition. In SI system, the value of this one is equals to how much for me? This one. Okay. And whereas in the CGS system, the value of the R is equals to this much. And if the pressure and volume are taken in terms of your atmosphere and in terms of your liters, then value of your R is equals to this one. Clear for everyone? So these are the calculations of the value of your capital R. Go through it once again. So PV is equals to nRT, R is equals to pressure, volume divided by N into T. Number of moles, I'm taking it as of your 1, కాబట్టి it is nothing but of your N. 273 simplify చేస్తే 8.314 joule mole Kelvin వచ్చేస్తుంది. If I'm taking the CGS system, the value of that one is 8.3 into 10 to the power of 7 erg mole Kelvin partition, because 1 joule is equals to 10 to the power of 7 ergs. That will try to do the derivations in your units and dimensions. If pressure and volume are taken in the atmosphere and liters, R value is equal to 0.821 liter per mole Kelvin. Is that condition clear, beta? Or the values of capital R is clear? అర్థమైంది అందరికీ?
Yes, sir.
Next point also in this one more point. R is also equal to, this is 2 calorie per mole Kelvin. 2 calorie per mole Kelvin. This is also one of the important unit you need to remember. If it is in terms of your calories, R value is equals to 2 calorie per your mole part of relation. Now let us try to calculate the value of your K. How do you calculate the value of your K, beta? K value is equals to, K is equals to R divided by Avogadro number. R divided by Avogadro number, that is 8.314 divided by Avogadro number, that is 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. So if I simplify this one, this comes out for me 1.38 into 10 to the power of minus 23 joule per Kelvin is your unit. So the K value is equals to how much, beta? K value is equals to 1.38 into 10 to the power of minus 23 joule per Kelvin is the unit of this one. Very important. K is known as of what? Boltzmann's constant. K is known as of what? Boltzmann's constant. चलो ठीक है. So we got the constant values. Whenever these two terms comes in the calculations, we can directly use these standard values. K value is 1.38 into 10 to the power of minus 23, and value of the R in the 4 different units I told you. If it is in SI system, it is 8.314. If it is in CGS system, 8.3 into 10 to the power of 7. 314 and approximately I can make it as of 3. And if the pressure and volume are taken in atmosphere and liters, then R is equal to 0.0821 liter per mole Kelvin. And if capital R is equals to take in terms of calorie, R is equals to 2 calorie per mole per Kelvin. And Boltzmann's constant, if I'm trying to talk about right now, Boltzmann's constant is K is equals to R by Na. R is universal gas constant divided by Avogadro number. Simplifying it, we are getting 1.38 into 10 to the power of minus 23 joule per Kelvin. So K value is equals to 1.38 into 10 to the power of minus 23 joule per Kelvin. Why mole has been gone, beta? Because Avogadro unit is also mole. So mole get cancelled. So that is the reason we are getting only joule per your Kelvin. Is that units clear, beta, for everyone? Is this units clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Let us try to do right now. Now open your mind yourself and try to do this one. Yesterday I have already told you the graphs. So let us try to take this next side heading. Applications of gas equations. Be a little bit careful and be attentive. Now it is very important to use your brain cells to give me the answer. Sure. First graph, if I'm trying to talk about, see this one. If I'm drawing the graph of your pressure versus temperature, pressure versus temperature, I'm drawing the graph, and I have given you the graph like this. This is one graph, this is one graph. This is at a volume V1, this is at a volume V2. Mass of the gas is same. That means we are getting the same amount of your mass, but volumes are different. And we need to plot a graph between pressure and as well as of your volume. That means this is a graph given for me. Now tell me whose volume is greater. Is V1 greater than V2 or V2 is greater than V1? And tell me why it is. relation between, just write the question here right now. Relation between V1 and V2. Chalo. Can anyone use ideal gas equation, beta?
Sir, V2, sir.
V2 is greater.
Sir,
I need the relation between V1 and V2. Which one is greater and which one is smaller?
V2 is greater.
How? See, this is small m, gada. You know the ideal gas equation in terms of small m. PV is equals to how much? M into R into capital T, na beta. So I need to draw the graph between pressure versus temperature. That means P by T you take here, this T here down. So this will become for me M into small r divided by V, gada. M and R are what for me? M and R are right now for me what? A constant. So that I'm taking it as of your constant divided by volume. So now what we got the relation? Can anyone tell me? P by T is inversely proportional to volume. P by T is inversely proportional to volume. That means if I'm writing slope of PT graph, slope of a PT graph is inversely proportional to volume. That means more volume, lesser will be the P by T. Got the condition? This is the equation under ke.
Sir, can you explain once more, sir?
Yes, beta, I'll do it out. See, he has given me the graph for your pressure versus your temperature, na beta. So on y-axis we are having pressure, on x-axis we are having the temperature, isn't it? And he has given the two lines in the red lines, V1 and V2, keeping the mass to be constant. He's asking the relation between your V1 and as well as of your V2. Now for grams, we know the relation, ideal gas equation, PV is equals to MR into T. M is nothing but what? Mass of the gas. Small r is equals to specific gas constant. Capital T is your temperature. And V is your what? Volume. So now what I am doing is, I am taking the T on this side. So this P by T is equals to M into R by V. Small m and R are constant, that I have written as K by T. That means pressure by T graph is always inversely proportional. That is 1 by T part of relation. P by T is nothing but what? Y-axis by x-axis, that is tan theta, slope. Antena?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So slope of the PT graph is what? Inversely proportional to volume. If it is inversely proportional to volume, then larger the volume means lesser will be the slope. That means whose volume should be the more right now?
Yes, sir.
Whose volume should be more? V1 or V2? See, slope of your PT is inversely proportional to the volume. Lesser the volume, slope of the PT graph will be the maxima.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Now slope of V2 is right now for me what? P2 graph is right now, slope is maxima. That means volume will become for me less.
Yes, sir.
This slope, if I'm taking, this slope is larger, na beta? This is theta 2 and this one is say theta 1. Isn't it? So theta 2 is greater than theta 1, na?
Yes, sir.
So tan theta 1. Tan theta 2 is greater than tan theta. That means slope of your slope is represented by M. I told you M2 is greater than of your M1. If M2 is greater means what will be the volume of that one? Less or more?
Sir, V1 will be greater, sir.
Obviously, now we got an answer for this one. So V1 will be greater than V2. Ardhamain andarki malosa chudandi, very important. Slope of your PT graph is inversely. What is the slope of your PT graph? Straight line equations, whatever you are getting. Right now I'm taking the two angles, theta 1 and theta 2. So this is theta. Theta 1. Okay. So theta 2 is greater than theta 1. That means slope of your M2 is greater than M1. If slope is more, volume will be less. That means V2 is lesser than V1 or V1 is greater than V2. Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
Adangala. Kada? Okay, I'll give you one more example, then we'll try to see whether you can understand this one. Now think and give me the answer. That is the reason I'm telling you. Now I'm taking the graph between like say for example, this is a graph I'm taking right now with respect to volume versus temperature beta. Okay, now I'm giving you the graph like this. Okay, now this is one slope here and this is your another slope, and here this one is P1 and this one is your P2, and mass is again for me same. Okay, now think and tell me the relation. I'm just again asking you the question.
P1, sir.
Between relation between P1 and P2. Can anyone give me the answer?
PV equal to MRT.
Obviously.
Then P by
previous. PV is equals to M R into
T.
So I can
Then
write
we should P by
is directly proportional to T. I can write. So V by T graph is inversely proportional to what? Pressure?
Pressure.
Isn't it? So this is your V by T graph beta. So V by T graph is inversely proportional to your pressure. That means what? If this is your slope of theta 1 and this one is your slope of your theta 2, who is greater right now here? Theta 2 is greater than theta 1. That is M2 is greater than M1. That means slope of P2 is greater than slope of P1. V by T is nothing but what? Slope only, kada? V by T is nothing but what? Slope. So slope is inversely proportional to 1 by P. Right with the conditions. Slope of VT is inversely proportional to pressure. I use this condition. Slope of M2 is greater than slope of your P1 means what will write the answer? What is the relation between P1 and P2? Who is greater and who is lesser?
P1 is greater.
Yeah, P1 is greater than P2. Is that condition clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you once again. See, come back. I'll help you out once again. Application of a gas loss. If he has given me the graph between pressure versus your temperature and is asking what is the relation between V1 and V2. I'm using the relation PV is equals to MRT. So from that one, I got P by T is equals to constant divided by volume. That means the slope of your PT is inversely proportional to volume. That means larger the volume, lesser will be the volume. Larger the PT graph, lesser will be the volume. So in that one, theta 2 is greater than theta 1. Gabati, V2 will be lesser than V1. So V1 is greater than V2. This one also you see right now. Second one, I have taken the graph between volume versus temperature now. Volume versus temperature. Relation between P1 and P2 we need to write. So PV is equals to MRT. So PV is directly proportional to T. So if I'm writing the graph between volume versus temperature, V by your T is inversely proportional to how much for me? P. I hope you got this point. How do I got it? Here. So I've written here volume V by your T is proportional to your 1 by P beta. Isn't it? They just brought this value out. If I remove the proportionality constant, we can write it as a your K. Okay, now that value, I hope you can understand. Okay, so that means slope of your VT is inversely proportional to pressure. So theta 2 is greater than theta 1. That means M2 is greater than M1. That means slope of your P2 is greater than slope of your P1. So pressure P1 is greater than pressure P2. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
I hope you got an idea. Chalo. Let us try to do one more. Let me see what I can do and how we can do this one also. So third example. So this one is the graph I'm trying to draw. Pressure versus volume. Pressure versus volume. Graphs are given like this, isotherm, like this. So this is at a temperature of T1 and this is at a temperature of T2. Again, mass of the gas is remaining for me same. So what you do at that condition is right now, whenever you are doing such type of a problem, you try to take any one point on both of them. Like say for example, this is 1 point and this is 1 point. Okay, now take this graph like this and plot a volume for this one. And for this one also I've taken the pressure constant and I have plotted your volume. So this is having a volume of your V1, this is having a volume of V2 and pressure is remaining constant. Isn't it? Got an idea? So what I did it, whenever you get such type of a graphs 2, 3 or 4, you take any one point which is fixed, either horizontal or either vertical. That is not a problem for me. Clear? So when I'm keeping one horizontal point constant, the pressure is remaining constant. Volume for the first graph is V1, for the second graph it is right now V2. Now from the relation PV is equals to how much for me? PV is equals to directly proportional to temperature. PV is equals to nRT. So I need to draw the graph between P versus T. As P is same, I can write volume is directly proportional to temperature, beta. Volume is directly proportional to temperature. That means more the volume, more will be the temperature. Now whose volume is greater here? Whose volume is greater, beta? See the graph.
Sir, T2.
No, in terms of volume, you tell me first.
V2, sir.
V2, sir.
Yeah, V2 is greater than V1. If V2 is greater than V1 means directly proportional property. T2 is greater than T1. So got an idea how to write that one?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? I hope you got the relation. So what I did is I kept the pressure to be constant right now. So from the relation PV is equals to directly proportional to T, P is same. So V is directly proportional to temperature. So as V2 is greater than V1, so T2 is greater than T1. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope you got an idea how to do the graph problems also. Chalo, let us try to go for one more. Sorry. Yeah. Fourth graph. See, a gas is taken from from 1 to 2 as shown in figure. Then its pressure from 1 to 2 is, this is the question. This is a graph I have been taken right now. So this is volume and this one is your temperature. And the graph given in this one is something like this. This is 0.2, this is your 0.1. Okay, come on, try to see this graph. Volume versus temperature. Volume versus temperature. Whenever you get such type of a graph, what you do is first point right now, draw the line, join the lines 1 and 2. This one is your first line which is been joining, and this is your another line which is joining this one. Okay, and it is going from 1 to 2 like this. Now whose pressure is more better? The gas is taken from 1 to 2 as shown in the figure, then its pressure will be equal to how much? Temperature of your 1 is greater than temperature of 2, beta. Can I write like that? See, at point 1, temperature is how much for me? T. We'll draw here, this is a temperature T1. If I draw here, this is your temperature of your T2. Who is greater now? Sorry, T2 is greater than T1. Sorry. Temperature T2 is greater than T1. Is it true? Are you getting my point?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
T2 is greater than T1 means what happens to the relation? V versus T graph. V by T is equal to how much for me? What is the graph between V by T beta? V by T is always for me what?
Constant.
Constant kada. That means if V2 is greater than of your T1, that means the pressure will also will be P2 greater than of your P1. Antena?
Yes, sir.
How?
No, sir.
Why no, sir, beta?
It is constant.
From 1 to 2, what is happening? Pressure is increasing.
Sir, then V2 will also be greater than V1, right?
PV graph I'm writing now. PV is equals to N into R into T. So if I'm writing V by T graph, V by T is equals to N into R divided by your pressure. Oh, no? Now what is the relation between temperature and pressure you see from the equation?
Yes, sir. It is T is directly proportional to P.
Then when it is directly proportional to that one right now, so I'm writing the relation for that one. P2 is greater than of your P1. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
I'll give you one more question. You please try to take it as homework and try to do it out. Sure. You try to go through the recordings of this one today at any cost better. So go for the next one. Say for example, I'm giving you a question. Same, I'm not writing the theory. So if I'm drawing the graph between this one, so this one is your volume versus now temperature. Okay. This is your volume versus a temperature. And graph is given like this. Sorry. Like this. This is 0.1. This is your 0.2. So going from 0.1 to 0.2. చెప్పగలుగుతారా ఎవరైనా చూడండి V versus T graph. So what you'll do again, join the initial and final point. This is initial point and this one is your final point. Okay now? It is changing. Okay. So what you do is draw this line like this. And then you try to draw the line from origin to the point 2. Okay. Now from 1 to 2, what is happening? When you're going from 1 to 2, volume is increasing. Volume is increasing or not?
Yes, sir.
So if I'm using the same relation, PV is equals to N into R into T. So V by T is equals to N into R divided by pressure beta.
Yes, sir.
Now what is the relation between V by T and P?
It is inversely proportional to P.
Yeah, inversely proportional. That means when you're going from 1 to P, what is happening to the pressure?
It's decreasing.
Pressure is decreasing. That means what you'll write the relation?
P1 is greater than P2.
P1 is greater than P2. Clear for everyone? Adhamainda? Because from 1 to 2 when you're giving, see the graph, volume is slowly increasing. So when here it is a volume right now, I'll try to put it with yeah, this one is. Now see, when here it is right now, here it was V1. Then when it has gone up like this, like this, like this, like this, when it is reaching to the point, what is happening to the V? Volume is increasing. So when volume is increasing, it is inversely proportional to pressure. So pressure is decreasing. Pressure is decreasing. So P1 is greater than of your P2. Clear for everyone?
Sir.
Sure. I'm keeping full stop for today's session of the class. Tomorrow we'll try to go with some of the applications of ideal gas equations, and then we'll try to go for the numericals associated with this one and verifications of the Boyle's law by the Quills tube apparatus. Okay. Tomorrow is what? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow is Wednesday. So tomorrow, one day we'll try to do tomorrow and Thursday, and Friday, Saturday we'll go for the numericals.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Sure.